Born ready. I'm going to play Pim's favorite song real quick. That's how we hobbits do. So
Fuck you.
we're starting with a bang. What's going on, everyone? I'm not sure if JP's still in the house or Jonathan. Jim W says no dusters today. But what's going on, Pim?
Sorry, I was gonna go and comment and say, "Yay, Jim!"
Yay, Jim!
So I'm distracted.
JP's still here. What's up, JP? So what's going on, Pim? It's been about a month.
Yes, way too long without you. I don't know
Aw.
how I've survived.
Oh, I tell you what. What's up, Mike? It's not talking to your other half isn't the same as talking to you. I call you his better half.
I'm the best half.
I think
Always.
I think he's on board with that.
I'm not so sure about that. See his ego.
What's up, Bob? So tell me what's been going on. It's been about a month. How are things been going? Do you guys celebrate? I'm pretty sure you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but I see a pie in back of you. So
Yeah, that's leftovers from my live stream yesterday. I did a live stream, not on YouTube, I did in my Facebook group. I was talking a little bit about how to survive the holidays and gave them a few tips on what they can do, what they can think of, and how to actually make a plan that works. Because it's kind of easy to say, I'm just going to go there and I'm not going to eat any pie, and God knows what you Americans actually eat on Thanksgiving or
I can
Christmas.
tell you, I can list off some stuff, and then some people in the chat list off some of the staples for your dinner. Let's get a food chain going. But yeah, it's so we go to Massachusetts. So my husband's family is in Massachusetts, so we're part of that travel rush. But prior, his mom's okay. She makes homemade cranberry sauce, which is better than the canned stuff. With fresh cranberries and diced up apple and stuff like that. Turkey graving. She makes homemade cranberry stuffing. So I mean, the stuff she makes is from scratch, so it's better than the box stuff. My parents, when I would go to their house, we have his family's smaller. It's just us, his parents, and uncle usually at dinner. My family, on the other hand, before, people started popping out kids and stuff, we would have about 30 people at my parents' house.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. And my aunt would make sweet potato casserole. So sweet potatoes aren't sweet enough, so she had to add marshmallows. So then
marshmallows on a sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, it was so good. It was damn good.
I never heard of it.
Now I would probably get a cavity and pass out. And then we have green bean, just all the casseroles, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes with the marshmallow. We would have a green bean casserole. So instead of just regular green beans, which I'm not opposed to eating, they have to like jazz it up with like all sorts of other stuff, which takes the health, what's left of the health right out of it. Then you would have the turkey, you would have the stuffing, you would have my aunt's a baker. So she would make all the desserts. Everyone brings over pie. So we'll have at least 3 types of pies with the ice cream because you have to have a la mode. Then we would have a cake. Yeah, it's just all carb and turkey.
Jesus. Okay.
If that answers your question.
Right. So when I heard sweet potato casserole, I imagined something savory, and then the marshmallows, and I'm like, it's just like error in my brain, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I just had pies, more casseroles, more everything, carbs.
It's all carbs. So we were originally going to talk about a specific topic on carbs, but our third person is sick, and that was her jam, meaning that's her specialty. It's not mine or Pim's specialty. So we figure since the holidays are coming up here in America anyway, and Pim has a pie behind her, we could talk about the carb topic and how we plan to tackle the holidays, and maybe get some questions from the chat and see about what you guys have planned for the holidays. So what do you guys do? I'm sure you don't celebrate over there, so I'm sure it's just business as usual.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
But it's next Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I have I have Thursdays off. I don't speak to people on Thursdays.
She's
So
like
we would probably go out kayaking and do a barbecue and if the weather allows for it, but there is not going to be anything like holiday celebrating
holiday-y.
holiday.
Well, what are
It's
your
a
biggest
word.
tips, like, in this Facebook group? What tips do you provide? Because, I mean, as you see, Jim is bringing pies. He was volunteered to bring pies. Joseph is like, "Everything in America is sweet." Yes. Sean hates green bean casserole. So
Wow.
what tips do you have for people knowing now kind of with the idea what we have on our dinner tables? Usually it's just one protein source, and then the
Yeah.
buffet is just all desserts and pastries and casseroles and all sorts of carby goodness.
Well, I'm going to answer this from my perspective, which is not as straightforward as it would be if you ask most people. I think it needs to be up to every single person what they want to eat and then plan from there. The idea is to walk into Thanksgiving's dinner with a plan. So the first thing you need to know is like, why is this a problem to you? Like, why is it a problem that you're surrounded by food? And identify that problem, and then from there, kind of make a plan for whatever you think that problem is, which often is, for many people anyway, is like, I don't want people to think that I'm destroying, the celebrations, or think that I'm crazy, or I don't want to be judged, or whatever it is. And then that's what you actually need to work on, rather than just make a plan. I'm not going to eat all of that stuff, because if you're going to sit there and feel shitty about it because you think that people think things about you, you're probably going to end up eating anyway, no matter what you're planning. So that's kind of my short answer.
Well, how would you approach it? Like, say you celebrated Thanksgiving, what would be your plan of attack?
Um, I'm just like, that sounds disgusting, all of this. I don't know if it's gonna be a problem. Actually, no, I would be very curious to see what that sweet potato casserole with marshmallows tasted like. So I
Oh,
would
man.
probably go in and the thing is, I hate turkey. It's so fucking dry. I would
Yeah.
probably just bring a freaking steak because I couldn't stand the food that was there. And then I would say, okay, I'm gonna taste this sweet potato casserole with marshmallows just because I want to taste it, and then I would just have a slice, and that would be it. So that would be my plan. And if I feel like I get an impulse to want to eat everything and taste everything, I would just sit through it. Like, this is not what I want to do. I know that I'm gonna feel shit tomorrow, and sort of get my brain back into being present and not just living in the emotions that are gonna come up. Like, I want to eat everything brain, because that's not going to help me at all.
Yeah. I think it depends on where people are in their journey too.
Yeah.
Like, it's for most people, they'll have a hard time, or I think most people would have a hard time going to someone's house and seeing all these temptations, if you wanna think of it that way, temptations
Yeah.
on the table, because that's pretty much all you're gonna see. Um, so my plan of attack, even though I'm at a different point in my journey to where, um I believe I've achieved food freedom, and I can have a little bit of things here and there and not binge, not have cravings, and just move on with my life. Um, I might have a little bit of her cranberry sauce and stuffing just because, like I said, it's definitely better than store-bought, and it's all scratch, it's all homemade, and it's freaking delicious. So I might just have, like, a little spoonful of each and just pile my plate with the turkey. It is turkey. Um, but yeah, that's my plan of attack is I'll just have, like, little samplings because I
Yeah.
know for me, I don't feel like I have to avoid those things. I'm giving myself permission to
Yeah.
sample. And I think uh, if you go into it with that mindset, I think you'll be a little bit more less stressed. Like, if you're able to
Oh, yeah.
control yourself around carbs, if you're a when it comes to desserts, I'm not gonna have any dessert. Like, I've already made that decision because that's
There you
no
go.
one needs that. But I will have, the stuffing and her cranberry sauce. But if you go into it like with a plan and give yourself permission, you can always choose not to. But if you give yourself permission, it'll relieve so much stress and so much of that pressure and anxiety and all that. And you don't have to give in to the permission. Just because you give yourself permission doesn't mean you still have to eat it. But I think if you just go into it with, I'm giving myself permission to sample some things, and then you can make a game time decision and not sample those things. But I think that's the way I'm approaching it, because that for me would be less stressful and less like feeling, I guess, left out and like not really participating type mindset.
Yeah. I mean, if I liked turkey, I would do the same thing because cranberry sauce wouldn't be a problem for me. It wouldn't even create any cravings. Potty mouth? How rude. What did I say?
I don't know, but you cursed right where we started.
Yeah, it's my Swedish genes. Like, you know what? In Sweden, we grow up and we watch like American TV, so there's a lot of fuck here and fuck there. So that's kind of my vocabulary, and it's hard to change it. And
Yeah,
I know Bob was here, I think.
he doesn't like that.
he, no, he interviewed me and he said, "Try to." I was
He
like,
did that to me too. He's like, "We don't curse on this show." I was like, "Damn, am I that bad?"
I think I'm worse than you.
You definitely are worse than me. I at least don't drop the F-bomb. I actually stopped saying the other word, shit, too, because, that's right up there with the F-bomb according to YouTube now. Yeah, I know. So, like, when it comes to cranberry sauce, the jellied cranberry sauce in the cans, I would be so and I use this word addicted loosely, but I would be able to have my mom would have to buy an extra can because I can pound a whole can by myself. I would just, like, go to town because it
You
was
know
so
what?
sweet and sugary.
I have never in my life tasted cranberry sauce.
I mean, in a can, the jellied cranberry sauce is so bad for you, but the old me, when I did have a problem with sugar and all that, I would eat a whole can by myself.
Yeah,
Now, when you're talking my mother-in-law's cranberry sauce with fresh cranberries and all that, obviously that's not sweet, and it has the sweetness comes from like the apple, like this thinly diced up apple and stuff like that. So it's way better than the jellied, but the jellied, yeah, I would pound a whole can
it's
down my gullet.
amazing.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
down.
I mean, I am so grateful that I grew up in Sweden because I think if I had grown up in America with my
You'd
my
be
blooming
screwed.
sugar addiction, I would
Yeah,
probably have been like 300 pounds and massive, and I don't
yeah.
even know if I managed to get out of it.
I'm telling you, it's so bad, especially this time of year. I mean, all of our holidays, like Valentine's Day, like we don't celebrate that Hallmark holiday anyway here, at least for me and my husband. But yeah, every holiday's food, like
Mhm.
trick or treating. Like, what other holiday or what other country would you go knock on strangers' doors and take their food? Like, how is that safe when you actually think about what you're doing? Like, you're dressing up in costumes, going to strangers and begging them for candy. How is that?
But actually, we did that as kids, but for Easter, and we sat for like a week just drawing Easter cards that we went to like knock on people's doors to give them these cards, and sometimes they gave us some, chocolate eggs or whatever,
Yeah.
but not always. And if they didn't open the door, I think we just put it in the letterbox as if they want that shit.
It's just crazy. But Laurel, what's up, Laurel? I plan on eating a turkey leg. Oh man, I'm like picturing the Renaissance fair with the turkey leg. Um, butter, cheese, maybe a little sweet potato, and bring along some homemade coconut yogurt and blueberries. That's what I'm talking about. I actually just recorded a video and I talked about bringing your own sides. And doing stuff like guacamole and or even some fresh berries. So yeah, I love that idea. I might actually do that. Some coconut yogurt with some blueberries for dessert. That's actually a really good idea. What do you think of that, Pim? I like that idea.
I like the idea, but I was gonna say I haven't ever tasted coconut yogurt either.
What the heck?
I don't know what that
You
is.
live under a rock? I live in a
No,
hobbit
I
house.
know,
Where
I
the
know
hell do
they
you
have.
live?
I've seen coconut yogurt, but I'm like, what's the point of that? Why not just eat real yogurt?
Yeah.
Unless obviously you have a problem with dairy, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
So You can't pronounce things, and I have never tasted anything that
Yeah.
you guys are eating.
We used to do prime rib for holidays
Oh.
when we did celebrate. Turkey and ham are simply no bueno for this palate. Yeah.
Mm,
Turkey's good, it's just you have to, like, load it with so much, like, gravy and stuff to give it that not dryness, give it some flavor. We're having rib roast, veggies, and a potato dish my mom is making for her sister.
sounds good.
Yeah, I'm doing plenty of meat and small helpings of veggie and potatoes. Nice. That I think is the best approach. Like, just
Yeah,
do, like, small samplings of a few things. I've always had food freedom. The vernacular for that is picky eater. My
that's me.
parents that's you? Apparently
Picky eater, not food freedom forever. Now I
yeah,
do, but picky eater for sure.
that's funny. Yeah, I've always been a picky eater too, um, but at the same time, I still, took me a lot of years to achieve, uh, I guess, food
So
freedom.
what things do you not eat?
Me?
Mhm.
What do you mean, as far as Thanksgiving?
No, I mean in general. If you're picky eater, I'm
Oh
sure
my
you have a long
gosh.
list of things that you
I'm
don't
not
like.
fancy, like, pork rinds are freaking nasty. Sardines,
What?
bleh.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I don't eat fish. The only fish I eat are the fish my dad makes, which is like, tilapia, haddock, I'll eat flounder and stuff like that. Cod, like the whitefish. Other than that, I don't eat fish. Um, I don't eat what else don't I eat? I'm pretty plain. Like, I'll just get a slab of meat and berries, and that's it. Like, I don't eat any of the fancy stuff. I don't know. Um, when it comes to desserts, I'll eat anything. Um, seriously, like, I'll eat
Except for
anything.
freaking English fruitcake is disgusting.
Yeah, or I don't know what sticky toffee pudding is.
That's actually quite nice,
Is
but
it?
it's
I don't know that I've ever
very
had it.
sweet,
Yeah,
like
but
over the top
when
sweet.
it comes to, like, food, yeah, it's just mostly seafood I don't eat,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
before I moved to this way of eating, I didn't eat, pig or cow, really, um, now I do, I just don't eat a lot of pork or whatever, but, yeah, I don't really have any meat that's off limits I can think of off the top of my head, mostly just seafood, I don't eat a lot of seafood. What about
What
you? Are you
about oh god, the list goes on.
yeah?
I think all the things that you said. Well, I do like pork rinds. I love them, but I eat prawns. But I
Mm-mm.
don't think I really eat anything else that comes from the sea. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, I can't mostly because, like, one Christmas when I was a kid, my mom and I go shopping. I hate shopping, especially in the holidays. Like, if you think I hate shopping
Mhm.
now, make me go shopping over the holidays. I really hate shopping. But we went shopping for whatever reason. I agreed to go with my mom. We come back. My dad's the cook. So he was cooking the big, Italian feast. The pasta, the fish, all that stuff. It smelled like fish. I hate that smell. I hate it. He was gutting fish, he was cooking fish. I hate the smell of
Oh.
fish. It still had the eyeballs in there, which bleh. So, he took the fish head that was in the sink, eyeballs still in its head, and he proceeded to chase me around the house. "Can I have a towel?" Right? I ran. I darted out of the house. I've never run out of
I
the
love
house
your
that
dad.
fast in my life. I'm scarred, so I blame my dad for partly for that. The eyeballs, whenever we would go to the grocery store and we would go to the seafood section, these poor fish will still have their eyeballs and they'd be looking at me with those eyes. I can't. That freaked me the hell out. That freaked me out. Like, why? Take the eyeballs out, take the head off. I just don't bleh.
Oh my god.
Mm-mm.
Childhood trauma or life trauma.
I am so traumatized. And then the little lobster, like, crawling around in the thing. I was like, "If you're gonna sell lobster, kill it beforehand. Don't let me see it crawling." And then I just can't. I can't. Mm-mm.
So I'm gonna tell you a strange thing that people think. Two things that people don't understand. Coke, I fucking hate it. I got to say fuck again.
No, that's
Potatoes,
that
I
mouth.
do
See
not
ya,
like
Bob. See you
potatoes.
later, Bob.
Sorry, Bob. I hate potatoes. I can't
All
stand
potatoes?
all potatoes, pretty much.
That's a shame.
Unless they're sweet potatoes, then I can do it.
Okay, that's not all potatoes then.
Well, they're not potatoes. They're sweet potatoes. Different plants.
But Coca-Cola, you don't like.
Uh-uh.
It's so syrupy.
I
Gross.
just hate the taste.
Yeah, it's gross.
Can I
Sushi?
share something on here?
I don't know. Can you?
Probably not. I wish I could.
Well, you can, I'll just have to put it on the screen if I can see it.
It's a video. That's the problem. Never mind. You won't want to play it anyway.
Just send me the chat. Just send me the link in the private chat and I'll put it up. While you do that, Jonathan wants to know, are carbs good for you?
I think Jonathan is just full of bullshit.
He's 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 trolling. I'm not taking the fruit cake, Jonathan.
Good. It is nasty.
Sticky toffee pudding is quite powerful. I've never had it.
I've had it once just because I was talked into actually I need to try it. And I was like, okay, I will.
I need to preview this video that Pim sent me before I play the oh my god. All right. I might throw up, but here we go. Oh.
I discovered this video many years ago.
Let me see.
It's really good, and we had a lot of fun. And yeah, the intro is long, so we have time to talk.
What the hell is that? What are they wearing?
I think garbage bags.
Why? Fish heads.
It's the best song ever.
Oh, are they gonna sing fish heads? Fish heads.
Yeah.
Okay.
I introduced that to Bot. He hadn't never heard it.
My husband sings that because I think it was on The Simpsons.
I don't even know how we came across it, but we had so much fun, and I don't know how long.
Oh my god! When do they start singing? How long is this thing?
It's probably where that peak goes up. Just go, yeah, go there somewhere. Did you even move it? Yeah. Here we go a bit more. They're almost there. Are you excited?
This is such a weird freaking video.
I know.
That is
yes, Susie knows it. Eat them up. Yum! Yeah.
Oh, what's happening? What?
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum. Fish heads,
where did he disappear?
fish heads,
this is so weird.
Fish heads, eat them up, yum.
In the morning, laughing happy fish heads. In the evening, floating in the soup.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum.
Ask a fish head anything you want to. They won't answer. They can't talk.
Oh my god.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum.
I took a fish head out to see a movie. Didn't have to pay to get it in.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum.
They can't play baseball. They don't wear sweaters.
What the
They're
hell?
not good dancers. They don't play drums.
Oh.
I think you did well.
We're so sorry, everyone. That was nasty. They just put a sweater on the fish head and oh, so nasty.
It's therapy.
That is not therapy.
Yeah. Now you've been exposed to lots of fish heads in a very short time.
JP said it's a good thing I just ate. We're so sorry, everyone. We should have had a trigger warning. I did not know what that video was going to be. My bad.
It's all my fault. I'm the evil one.
You are, and you usually blame me. I thought there was just one that the whole world just passed around.
Possibly. We don't have those in Sweden, so I'm like, it's an English fruitcake.
So
'Cause that's where everyone seems to be making fruitcakes.
yeah, it was made popular. No, sticky toffee pudding was Gordon Ramsay.
All right.
Or buy fresh cranberries and dry them yourself or make your own sugar-free cranberry sauce. That's what my mother-in-law does. Yeah, it's really good. I love pork rinds, but man, do they make you fart. Well, I got something for that.
That's interesting. Sounds like an onion fart.
What?
That sounds like an onion fart.
Yeah, is that an onion fart?
I don't know.
Wait, where? I think I messed up on my comments here. Ah, I have a hyperactive thyroid, so I'm supposed to limit my intake of iodine. Yep. And yogurt has a lot of iodine, yes. So, carb cycling. That's what we were originally going to talk to, but Jamie, who's also on the thumbnail, that's her carb cycling is and hormonal balance. That's her area of expertise. So we thought that would be an interesting topic to talk about, especially this time of year. But unfortunately, she's sick, so we are not going to talk about carb cycling specifically. But we are going to talk about carbs as we started when it comes to Thanksgiving here in the United States. Jonathan, Sophie and I are going to watch a series. I still have. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not feeling very well.
Jonathan, what are you doing?
Roly poly fish heads. Oh, thank you, Laurel. Yeah, we're trying to keep it tame this time around. Usually I kind of go off the rails, but I'm kind of tame. I'm kind of tame for now.
Am I behaving enough?
I don't know. You made me watch that crappy video.
You could have turned it off quicker.
Further trauma for Nicole, I'm telling you. Oh, Bob didn't leave yet. People that don't like not like we want you to leave, Bob, but we thought Pam's potty mouth would have steered you away. Her potty mouth steers me away sometimes.
That's a lie. I think we all know it.
People that don't like fruitcake have never had my mom's. She made it in October, so oh, nice. I don't think I've ever had fruitcake. Ever. It just doesn't look appealing. It doesn't look appetizing. I don't know. Correlation is not causation. Carbs did not make her sick that we know of.
Make who sick?
Make who sick? What did we miss? What happened? Who's sick? Oh, our friend Jamie. Maybe?
Oh, I see.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know what she has. She has like a fever or something. But yeah, let us know in the chat what you guys are looking forward to most for Thanksgiving, which is next week. I can't believe it's already Thanksgiving Thursday.
Yeah.
If you are what you eat, I'll pass on more fruitcake. So
yeah, who wants to be a fruitcake?
I don't know. I want to be that pie behind you.
Oh.
That looks really good. Although I was never really a whipped cream person. Even
I thought that would be meringue or something.
is that meringue? I don't know. I don't eat that stuff either. Pumpkin pie was my favorite pie. Pumpkin pie. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I have had pumpkin pie because I made it myself a few years ago, but we don't have that shit in Sweden. Like, no one eats pumpkin pie. Or, well, they didn't used to do it when I grew up anyway. They probably do now because they adopt everything from you crazy people. But
do they have pumpkins in Sweden?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not like a big staple food or anything. It's a weird thing. Like, if as a kid, I would be looking at it and like, okay, what do you do with pumpkin? Like, it's not something that people would generally have used back in the days. Nowadays, I guess they would just roast them or whatever you do with pumpkins. But
Yeah, pumpkin pie. I don't know. That was my favorite pie. I remember one Thanksgiving. This is probably gonna gross all of you out, but I'm already grossed out by fish head, so I guess this is payback. So my first year active duty, it was my first holiday away from home. I was living in the dorms on my first base, and this was before I made a lot of friends on base because I had just gotten there. So one Thanksgiving, I remember this for dinner. I had a pumpkin pie, like a whole pie to myself. I just took a fork, and that's all I ate for dinner was an entire pumpkin pie. I felt like sugar overload afterwards, but yes, pumpkin
Mhm.
pie is my favorite pie. So if my mother-in-law has pumpkin pie, I might have to give myself permission to sample pumpkin pie too, because it's the only time of year I would ever eat pumpkin pie. But I had a whole pumpkin pie to myself, and I ate the whole damn thing by myself my first year away from home.
So is that sampling eating a whole pumpkin pie?
No. It's going
Okay,
to
just want to
be a
know.
little sliver, but yeah, if I did that now, I'd be in a food coma, I'd pass
Okay.
out. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how much I love pumpkin pie, though. I would just get a fork and just eat the whole damn thing. It's a problem. It was a problem.
Hmm. I mean, I could do that with like blueberry crumble or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that and mint chocolate chip ice cream. I used to eat the whole thing. I can eat all of it. It's so
Mint
bad.
choc ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream?
Mint choc.
Mint chuck? Is that what you
Mm.
call it?
What? Mint chocolate. What? Mint?
Chunk?
Yeah, they call it mint chocolate chip ice cream. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
This is hard to say.
I'm telling you. So, yeah, Mike says, "I hope she feels better soon." Yeah. I kinda had a feeling that's what you were talking about or who you were talking about. This year, Thanksgiving will be better as I'll spend it home alone rather than going anywhere. That sounds so nice. I have a turkey leg to cook. That sounds so delicious. I wish we didn't have to travel. What's up,
Oh.
Erin? Our topic of conversation changed. Now it's just random ramblings, as Jonathan likes to say,
Hmm.
around Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Excellent.
I love pumpkin pie. May have to come up with an alternative this year. I know. I wish she would make her own desserts. It would be a little bit better, but I'm cool
Can't
with
you
it.
make a fairly low carb pumpkin pie though?
I
Wouldn't that
think
be
you
possible?
can. I don't know, there's keto pumpkin pie
Yeah.
recipes, but I believe she gets all store-bought. I don't know. Last year I didn't have any dessert, but this year I might have a little sliver and just move on with my life. Nicole was orange the next day. I was feeling some sort of way the next day.
You had a color.
That was it was not pleasant. Nicole is my hero. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Oompa Loompa. So I have a plaque behind me from when I was in Korea, and they called me Nicole Oompa Loompa Arena, and that was, well, my maiden name, but not Oompa Loompa, but anyway.
Sure.
But but I think that's because I would, joke around when I was in Korea. I would stand up when I'd be drinking alcohol because I made a joke that it will go down to it'll make the processing of the alcohol faster, so I would always stand up, and for whatever reason, we always broke out into song, so they called me Oompa Loompa, and that's actually on my plaque. I don't know if I'm proud of it or if I should be offended.
You probably deserved it.
Day 100 carnivore falls on Thanksgiving. I might have to give myself permission to go crazy. I don't know what you mean by go crazy, Mike, but I'd say give yourself permission to indulge a little bit. You got to live your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
there's no need to go on a fucking binge. Yes, I gotta say fucking
yes, I know. Bob, I'm so sorry I apologize on behalf of Pim.
again. Yes, that's the spouse I want. I want someone who can be ashamed of me and apologize for
Not
me.
ashamed, just
Just a little
apologetic.
bit embarrassed.
It's a little. So, what are your thoughts on? I know Jonathan was joking when he mentioned carbs or whatever, but what are your thoughts on the whole carb thing? Do you think, in your opinion, and Do you think people need to be zero carb for the rest of their lives?
Well, I don't, because I'm not
Well,
zero carb.
yeah,
But
I think this will just be a good conversation, like as far as like your thoughts on carbs, and then I'll give mine and kind of go from there.
sorry, I was just reading Bob's comment that I just said one thing, and I didn't even. I said hell.
Oh wait,
So there you go.
it's okay. She
Uh,
did well in our chat. I only know how to cut one word. She
I was like,
she couldn't
oh,
even make it an hour.
It wasn't a full hour.
You couldn't even make it less than an hour without dropping.
Hell is not even a swear word in my vocabulary.
Right, but if you're talking to someone who's religious, it is. Okay, Bob, you should be
Yeah, but
impressed because I made it our whole interview and I did not drop one swear. You didn't have to cut anything from our interview except for probably a lot of ums. So you're welcome, Bob. You're welcome.
Yeah, I know I suck. This time apparently is pick on Pim day, so I'll
Well,
suck it.
usually you pick on me.
I know.
Usually you're mean to me.
Yes. So what was the question? Is it okay to eat carbs?
Well, what are you Yes, and what carbs do you stick to? Like when you eat carbs, what kind of
Mhm.
carbs do you eat?
So I'll start with does everyone have to be like 100% carb free for life? I don't think so, but also like let's say that you if you are type 2 diabetic or you have something that is like very extreme that you need to heal, maybe that's what you need to do for a period of time if you want to heal and if you want it to kind of move forward at any rate anyway. But for most people, if you have any sort of metabolic health, you probably don't need to be 100% carb free. It doesn't make any sense. We have a way of taking care of carbs, even though there are no essential carbs. We don't need to eat the carbs necessarily. We have a system for dealing with it, and just like we have a system for dealing with other toxins. Like we can't avoid everything, and maybe we don't even want to. And for me, I use them as medicine because otherwise I get headaches and migraines if I go zero carb for too long. So they have a place in my diet that is on purpose. And then there are some carbs that are just for my enjoyment, like the blueberries. They don't really serve a purpose as such. I like them. I don't have them every day. They're just in my freezer and sometimes I have them. It's as simple as that. You don't make me crave anything, blah, blah, blah. They're safe food for me. So what I'm like the carbs that I'm usually eating is blueberries, obviously. I use rice as my medicine most of the time. I do grow sweet potatoes, so when I am harvesting them, I'm gonna eat them. And they raise my blood sugar a lot more than rice. So are they good for me? Probably not, and I don't give a shit. I don't
Well, I
eat a
mean,
ton of them.
and I said this before, like, yeah, people get like so caught up on I ate a. No, I'm not saying you, Pim, just in general.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people get caught up with I ate a potato, my blood sugar spiked. And they get freaked out by that. But that's your body's natural response. As long as it comes back down to baseline, you're good. And as long as there's not peaks and valleys like constantly, like all day, every day, the one or two spikes a day, it's natural. That's your body's natural response. But you come into problems when you have the natural, like constant peaks and valleys throughout the day. That's where you start to run into problems. So I just want to clarify that because I do hear that a lot, that a lot of people fear blood sugar, but you don't have to fear sugar if you don't have to fear sugar, meaning if you don't have a sugar problem, whether it's addiction or diabetes or whatever, your body's glucose naturally rising and falling after meals. You don't have to fear that unless you have to fear that, like you have a metabolic issue like
Yeah.
diabetes. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if I look at my blood sugar, so I eat my sweet potatoes like roasted in the oven for a long time. So they're already broken down into pure glucose. It's like me eating glucose. So it's no wonder that my blood sugar looks like it does when I'm eating that. But it really goes up, then it goes down, maybe slightly on the baseline, but then it just goes back up to baseline. So my blood sugar adjusts really well, and it comes back. There's no like after effects with roller coaster up and down because I
Right.
don't continue eating carbs.
Mhm.
But what I can tell you is that the next morning, if I'm having it for dinner, even if my blood sugar looks completely normal, I'm always more hungry.
Yes.
So that's a side effect of eating more carbs, is that I always get more hungry, even if my blood sugar looks completely normal.
Yeah.
But
I get the
yeah,
same way.
I don't know. I don't eat any of the carbs like regularly. If there is anything, I don't know. When we're going out, if there's something on my plate, usually some vegetables, then I will have them. I don't really buy a lot of carbs. Maybe if I have a burger, I'm gonna eat the bun. It's nothing that I do every day.
Yeah. I feel like we have the same mindset when it comes to carbs. Um, and this leads into Barry, how you doing? Um, it's hard to stick to keto and carnivore. I need to cycle. I really need a coach or accountability buddy. So this kind of segues into what I started doing, and I believe Erin, the low carbist in the chat, also started doing. So Mindy Pels did a video on this. I also did a video of this on my channel as well, as carb cycling for women and the benefits. So, and I'm talking specifically 40 and older women, so perimenopause and beyond. But yeah, a lot of women. So if we're talking hunter gatherers and evolution, which a lot of people cite evolution, right? If we're talking evolutionarily, women did eat carbs and they eat more berries and all those things than men. Men ate more of the meat. But when it comes to women specifically, um, especially when it comes to carb cycling, it might benefit most women 40 and above specifically to carb cycle around their cycle depending on how you're feeling. So for me, I was having sleep issues, I was feeling super lethargic, I was getting headaches, I had brain fog, I had trouble concentrating. No matter how much or how little sleep I got, I would always feel like garbage and I would end up taking naps in the middle of the day, like not on purpose. I just be sitting there and I just like out of the blue just fall asleep. Um, so including more carbs, like carb cycling around my cycle has helped me because increasing my fat didn't help, like my protein to fat ratio didn't help. But if none of that helps, carb cycling could benefit a lot of women because it has to do with like your leptin response with helping to increase your progesterone, like your sex hormones, because that's what tanks more so for women. So I cycle between 20 or less up to 50. So I don't go above 50. So I'm 50 or less, but I go more towards 50 about a week before I bleed. And then I bring it back down after. But yeah, so that might be something to look at into Barry. But I also know you mentioned you struggle with carb and sugar addiction, and I know you're in Pim's chat, so you're fully aware of her groups and all that stuff. So maybe join Pim's Facebook group. I don't know if Pim, you want to drop it in the chat, and I can drop it in my chat as well.
Let me find the link. I'll just copy the link.
Yeah. So I hope that helps a little bit, Barry. So depending on how you're feeling, I'm a proponent of carb cycling around our cycle as I learned more and more and more about that topic. But yeah, when it comes to the types of carbs, I stick to berries, avocado for the most part. I will have cashews every now and then, but predominantly I'm berries and avocado are the staple in my diet.
So do you eat 50 grams of carbs every day?
No.
For the week or no?
No, you're talking when I'm cycling?
Mhm.
Yeah, so when I'm cycling about a week before I start bleeding, then yeah, I'll be more conscious of my carbs, and I will go up to 50 every day for that week or 2, and then I'll drop it back down to 20 or less. Usually I'm 20 for the most part, but those 2 weeks or a week or so, 1 to 2 weeks, I will go up to 50, and for me, that has helped me, but that's kind of woman dependent because that's where the individuality comes into play because as you reach that age, hormones fluctuate more for others than then some women, estrogen, progesterone may tank more in some women than others. They may not have as much of a drop in their hormonal balance. So it just depends for me. I just feel better. I would never go above 50, at least for now. I'm pretty comfortable and it's sustainable for me.
Yeah.
But going up to 50, even that little bit has helped immensely.
So this is very interesting because I've tried this concept before, but not with specifically 50 grams of carbs, but like that you can, if you're gonna fast as a woman, then you want to do it like after you start bleeding for the first 2 weeks, and then after ovulation, maybe for a week, it will be okay, but not for the last week that you have in your cycle.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know what it's like. I have a delay. I get really freaking hungry one day before, and then that stretches out for almost a week. So there's no way that I could be fasting that early in my cycle, because I just have like I'm more hungry than usual. But I can easily fast up until a few days before. It's not a problem. So I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just have a strange
You mean before
thing
your
going on.
cycle, like before you bleed?
Yeah. So if you say like I need to eat that 50 grams of carbs every day for a week before, for me it would feel like natural to do it starting one day before and continuing for a week from there, basically.
Yeah, I do
Which
it a
is
week
strange.
before I start bleeding into the week of bleeding, and then I drop it back down. So the first 2 weeks of your cycle, and then the last 2, you kinda drop it back down. But that's something you can toy with on timing and stuff,
Yeah.
because that, like I said, comes down to individual. For me, it's not exact. I don't say I'm bleeding on this day because 1, I think I'm on the cusp of peri, so sometimes I'm irregular and I have no freaking idea when the heck it's gonna happen. Like, I was regular, now I'm not. But it's not exact. I'm just like, "Oh, crap, I'm supposed to bleed tomorrow. Okay, let me include a little bit more carbs." So I'm not, like, fanatical about it. I just kinda do the best I can, with it, but I don't know. I think if you mess with it, like, the timing of it, um and then try to go up to 50. Some women actually go all the way up to, like, the top end of the low carb range, which is about 150. Some women actually go all the way up. I personally don't feel the need to go that high, but I do know women who do go, to 100, when they cycle. I just keep it in the still the keto realm. But I know you incorporate rice, and I think, Erin, the low carbist, has a question about that. I heard you mention rice, and I've been hearing about wild rice recently, which apparently isn't actually rice, but more of an aquatic plant. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it being an aquatic plant, so maybe I'm just a little bit behind here. And also, Nicole, you pasted I think you pasted a bit too much, not just my link.
What's that?
The link you posted I think you copied a little bit more than just the link when you pasted it in.
I did?
Opens in
Oh,
a new
because that's
tab.
how it copied in the private
Yeah.
chat. I just copied the link, but that's how it pasted. I
Yeah,
didn't do that. Yeah.
the only thing that I know about wild rice is that there's a lot more fiber, so a lot of people don't do well with even wild rice. But some people say that they do really well with it, so I don't know.
Well, what's
I
your
don't really.
reasoning, real quick, for those who haven't heard you talk about this before? So people are now starting to become familiar on how I use carbs, but what's
Mhm.
your reasoning and thought process behind including rice?
Oh, it's just so I did this experiment in 2022. I did 90 days fully, well, almost fully carnivore. I did use some pesto on my meat still, but that was it. So no significant amount of carbs at all. And after I did have intermittent headaches in the beginning, but after 6 weeks, I had daily headaches for the last 6 weeks of this experiment. And sometimes they turn into migraines. I think I might have had 3 migraines in those 6 weeks. And being stubborn, I obviously wanted to finish in 90 days, but it didn't go away. So I had to start eating the way that I was eating before, which meant being keto and maybe cycle on carbs a little bit. So I just started experimenting, and it took me probably a couple of months to get back to normal again and feeling like having the energy and not having headaches regularly. But what I could tell was like this is a new headache that I have never had before. I'm a headache expert because I've had a lot of headaches in my life. And usually I get headaches that are sitting on one side and they kind of go back and forth, back and forth. And I have them for several days and they just get milder for every day, but they kind of linger. But this new headache is always like on top of the head. And what I noticed was that if I eat carbs when I get that on top of the head headache, it goes away. But I can't have just blueberries because blueberries don't have enough carbs, I guess. I mean, I might get 10, 15 grams from the blueberries when I'm eating them. Whereas if I eat a portion of rice, I will get about 40 grams or so. And that seems to be enough to take it away. So I experimented with a few different things. I think I tried bananas. I didn't like what bananas did to my intestines. They produce gas, apparently. That's never happened to me before, probably because they were a bit green. And my blood sugar went up a lot and it makes me a bit hungry. Not ideal. Sweet potato doesn't make me hungry, but the blood sugar shoots up. I tried, but they work for the headache. Rice worked for the headache. So I'm just sticking to some sort of starch to do it. And rice is easy to store. It's always there. I don't have to make sure that, nothing goes off and I have to throw it away when I have to replace it. It's just
Yeah.
always sits there. I can store it forever. So it's
How
really
often do you incorporate the rice?
usually like every 5 to 14 days. So sometimes I just think that, okay, now it's been 12 days, I'm going to have to do it soon anyway. And today is probably a good day to do it. So sometimes I do it like proactively, but most of the time I do it reactively.
So it sounds
when I
like you
start
can
feeling it.
cycle too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But according to when my headaches appear.
Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of people can benefit from including like not being zero carb. Because I think there is a mechanism, especially for women, because we are more hormonal and it does have to do with leptin. That's what I uncovered so far. And Jonathan has uncovered a little bit more that we're going to do a video on to put, my findings and his findings and kind of
Nice.
do a deep dive explanation on this topic a little bit more. So, because we've both been kind of digging into this, and I appreciate him helping me with this because this is new territory for me as well. But there is a mechanism that supports, especially more so for women than men, that support hormonal health and helping women feel better, lose weight if they're stalled and things like that. So I believe that if you're a woman, I think carnivore is the ultimate elimination diet. But I personally wouldn't recommend staying zero for the rest of the life. I recommend at least going keto and land there for the rest of your life. But I think there truly is a mechanism that supports female, specifically hormonal fluctuations, especially around our cycle and all that stuff, to where it helps things like headache and brain fog and sleeping and weight loss and things like that. So Jonathan and I are going to do a kind of a deep dive video that kind of goes into that a bit more from our understanding from what we've both uncovered so far. But that's probably, Pim, why you're also feeling better doing that as well, because I think there truly is a mechanism to support that. And that might be
I
why
can
it's
tell
helping.
you something other interesting. So for the last 2 years, I barely had any period pains at all. I not had to take any painkillers or anything. So, but this like last month, I suppose, or just like a couple of weeks ago, I did a 3-day fat fast, which was literally just before my period. Didn't even notice it. There was no pain at all. At all. Like it was a little bit of tension, but that was it.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a hormonal component to it. And I'm eating a lot of fat normally. I don't think I ate more fat, but I didn't eat any carbs and I didn't eat like almost, very low protein for 3 days. And that happened. So I think there's so much more to it. And if you're someone who needs to be zero carb, I'm sure that there are other ways of kind of biohacking
Yeah.
yourself if you need to do that as well. So it's not like I think that everyone needs to do the carb cycling. I haven't been able to find anything else that works for my headaches. I'm going to give you that.
Yeah.
But the question is there another way for me to do it? I like to believe that there is, but I have no idea what it is right now.
Yeah, I think carbs do help with certain hormones and have some sort of role. And yeah, you can probably get that with the glucogenic effect of increasing protein and all that stuff. But for me, my experience, I tried that. I mess with the protein to fat ratio. I tried all those. And I think just the glucose I was getting from, the protein and fats and all that, for me, didn't appear to be enough. So adding that extra bit helped me. Um, but yeah, that might be another avenue. Um, you know, obviously, being active helps. Like there's a number of factors. I don't know. That's just what I'm doing, and I just thought it was interesting for you to mention the rice thing because I'm so fascinated by the mechanism now. Since I started doing this carb cycling a month and a half ago, I've been really, really, really trying to understand the mechanism. So it's just interesting hearing other people's kind of anecdotes on their experience and implementing of carbohydrates.
And I would be interested to see or listen to your video. Like, I'm really interested because I don't know all of this shit, and hormones interests me, but it's so freaking complex that
So
as soon as you
complicated.
think that you know something, there's something else that tells you that, I don't know, that wasn't what it was.
Yeah, and women's health and women's hormonal health especially, it's a dumpster fire, like, there's not a lot out there, and what is out there, like, I think most of what's out there are saying the same things, but in other aspects, it's conflicting, just it's just a dumpster fire, so, yeah, I'm curious what because Jonathan messaged me on IG saying that he believes he found the mechanism, he's like, um, "I might be onto something," and he said that he had a conversation with Harry, I'm blanking on his last name, and he believes he's
Honest?
uncovered yeah, he said he believes he's uncovered, um, added to what he's able to add to what I found to kind of possibly give somewhat of an idea on the mechanism, so yeah, I'm excited to hear
Okay.
what he has to say.
Yeah.
Um,
If
Barry
anyone knows, it would be Harry.
Yeah, that's what he said. He sent me the video, so I need to watch it and take notes because we are gonna I think we have something scheduled. So I just
Nice.
have to prepare because I haven't prepared yet. But yeah, he did like a 3 or 4 hour interview with Harry and he said it came up, the women's hormones, because he knows so Jonathan knows I've been really trying to figure this out. So for me, and he's curious too, he asked Harry and he said Harry went off on a tangent about all things. Of course, leptin because we know leptin affects progesterone and all that. And I've uncovered, that much and T3, T4, and all that stuff. He said that Harry was able to add to that. And I was like, I'm curious because I haven't found anything else. It's so hard. So, yeah, I need to get my notebook and pen and take some notes.
Good. You can't do an interview with Harry that is less than several hours. It's
I
just
know. That's
impossible.
what he said. Okay, so Barry, yes, I follow Dr. Mindy and have her flag book that I need to read yet. I'll be 55 next week and have hypothyroidism. The struggle is real. Yeah, so carbs help with your T3, T4 as well. Again, I'm not super smart on this, but I know T3 and T4 are affected. I can't really give you deep dive information on that. I need to go back and kind of pull all the research components I found. But if you do a Google search, consult Dr. Google, and research T3, T4, and menopause. Um, It'll explain what happens to women pre and post peri and postmenopausal on how various hormones to include thyroid are affected and how you can um not necessarily carbs like only, but things that you can do to help. But that's what I would recommend is just doing a Google search on um thyroid and menopause, and just start reading. Erin says, not sure if I'm cycling, but have definitely brought up the carbs a bit overall. I did to test out the cycling. I'm very intrigued. Me too. Ellie said, found out why I have been ravenous for the past week. I'm on my period today. Woo. That'll do it.
Yeah.
All right,
Sure
let me
will.
see. Oh, Fast Like a Girl. Thank you. I had no idea. I don't have that book. I don't think I missed any questions, but I was in some things I had flagged. Oh, see you later, Joseph. Sorry I missed that. Jim says, Pim gets dusters. I have the damn fish head stuck in my head. Ha ha. Flab, fast like a boy. That's the worst acronym ever.
Yeah.
But we are going to start wrapping this up because I know Pim has a coaching call here in a little bit, and I have an appointment I have to get to as well. But while we wrap up, if you guys have any other questions in the chat regarding carbs or anything we talked about specifically, please do drop them in the chat, and I promise you we will get to them before we sign out. But Pim, I wanted to thank you for joining me. These once a month chats. It seems like forever.
It does. And still, I mean, you're just complaining and still you want me back. What's wrong with you?
I don't complain. I just give you, it's like payback from all those other lives that you kind of are so mean to me. I feel like I'm able to be mean to you. I know.
So you're holding grudges, is that what you say?
No, I got it all out of my system. We're good now. Clean slate next time. Yeah. Clean slate.
So it's my turn then.
No, it's even playing field. Unless you want to be mean to me, jerk. So
yeah, get off on that shit.
So to wrap stuff up, what do you have planned on the YouTube world? What do we have to look forward to? If you are not subscribed to Pim's channel, go drop her a sub. Her and Jonathan are in a little friendly competition, so show her and Jonathan some love. I don't know if he's still in the chat though.
I have a lot of stuff actually planned for my YouTube channel, but I'm not going to talk about it just yet. But I am going to switch things up and do something completely different from what I'm doing right now.
Oh.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, suspense.
Yes.
All right. So now you have to subscribe to find out what the heck she has planned.
Indeed. And Jonathan, you won't be able to catch me up.
Oh, no. The gauntlet has been on. I think it's like 8 o'clock Jonathan time. Maybe he's getting his beauty sleep.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Well, he wasn't feeling well, was he?
No, he's been feeling like poo.
Oh.
But for me, I have a bunch of live streams planned. I kind of overextended myself as usual. I kind of get a little excited and say yes to everything, and then look at my calendar and say, oh crap. So Sunday I have 2 Thanksgiving streams. That's one of the old crap moments. And then I think I'm going on with Pim's other half, Bart K. We are doing a part 2 of that reaction debate. Yeah, so there was Lifting Vegan Logic reacted to the debate. And Bart K is familiar with him as well. So we're gonna react to Vegan Logic, reacting to it's gonna be a 3-way. A 3-way reaction. We're gonna react to Vegan Logic reacting to the debate. So that's going to be on Thursday, December 7th, my time, Friday, Bart's time. So if Pim doesn't get mad at Bart again because of the time difference. So yeah, so we're going to be doing part 2 of the debate. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be super, super fun. It's always fun doing reactions with Bart K. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. And then and then on the 27th of this month, I will be live with Erin and Greg, surviving the holidays type stream. So lots of live streams coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that. I don't see any questions, but I will say you're so welcome, Barry. I truly hope that helped. Any final words, Pim?
Just if you missed it, if you're not on my email list or in my Facebook group, and if you didn't see the live stream I did yesterday, I might edit that and put it out on YouTube for everyone else. But I do have a workshop this weekend, which is all about surviving the holidays and how to actually get through the holidays with whatever your problem is right now. We just make a plan for you during those 2 hours. So it's this Saturday at between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to attend that, I can head over to my YouTube channel and I will make sure that there is a link under this video. I just need to remember to put it there, and you can go sign up there. That's probably the easiest way of doing it.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone go do that. If you're not subbed to me, I'm at former fat girl. But yeah, so thank you all for hanging with us. We're sorry that we didn't talk about the originally planned topic. I hope Jamie feels better, but we will make it up to you all. She's going to try to be with us again next month. So we'll try to tackle this again. But it was fun nonetheless. We got to talk about pie. I'm always down to talk about pie and downing
always about the pie.
Pumpkin pie. But enjoy the rest of your morning or afternoon wherever you are chiming in from, and have a happy and healthy day. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.